Hello everyone, good evening, good day, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to do an arts and crafts stream. As you can tell, the camera is in a different angle. Unless you haven't been here before, then welcome. New viewers, welcome. Yes, I know a bit delayed on my start time. I don't usually take this long to get here to start it up, but had to do a couple of things in the background, so I'm here now though. I am here. How are we all? Hope you're all doing well. Now, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be doing some loom knitting today. One moment while I adjust. Headphones are a bit too loud with the music. Hope the music isn't too loud for you guys. If it is, please let me know. But yes, as I was saying, we're going to be doing some loom knitting, and I'm going to be loom knitting some toys that I will be selling at a craft store, I suppose. A friend of mine, her mum, does keepsake stalls, and it's coming up in the next, I think it's like either this week or next week. I'm pretty sure it's this week. And yeah, just going to be making them so that I can sell them. Yeah, generally, I don't have very many things that I sell in terms of handmade stuff. I've made ribbon bookmarks in the past. They sold kind of well. They were kind of like having, just small sort of gifts to give away at some point. Like stocking stuffers, I suppose, for like Christmas time. But I also have been making, like the last couple of times that I have sold at her stall, I've been making little ball-shaped toys, and the ones that I have made were emojis. I had like little emoji faces on them. So that's pretty much where I decided to go with that. And they were actually pretty popular, so I'm going to make some more of those. Now, this is the shape. This is pretty much the basis of the ball that I'm going to be making, as you can tell. So this is obviously for one of the yellow-faced emojis. Now, I also found some blue in my mum's yarn kit, like her little yarn stash. Got a blue one here that I've started to make, and I'm gonna make this one the cold face. You know, the face that's the emoji that's like freezing. I'm gonna try and do that with this one. And I've also got some red yarn that I'm going to be making the actual sphere out of to make the angry face. So the angry emoji. So we're gonna be doing that. I'll switch over to the scene so you can see the setup. The yellow one looked like a lemon or a squash from my peripheral vision. Alright, so if I know the shape isn't perfectly round. I'm sorry if that's not to your standards of roundness, but it's the best that I can do. This is like, it's actually not that bad. Especially since I use this. This is a loom. This is a round loom. There's also rectangular looms as well. And there's also other shaped looms that I haven't actually gone into because they look very, very complicated. Just in the way that they're shaped. And I think because of the way that they're shaped means you can make bigger things with them. But I've been sticking with making smaller items. Like I've used this particular loom to make some gloves, like some fingerless gloves. I've also used this to make a scarf with as well, which has been pretty cool. And you can also use this one for socks, so you can loom knit socks as well. So as you can kind of see in the sort of the pattern of the way that the loom actually the way you knit, it kind of looks like you use the two needles, the knitting needles, and it kind of gives you that kind of knitted look as well, which is why I like using this, because it's less complicated than using 2 needles to knit. And that's why I'm doing this. I found this and I self-taught. I taught myself to use this by doing a lot of YouTube research and watching a lot of YouTube videos. And I found that this particular tool is so much easier to knit stuff with than it is for me to use a knitting, the 2 knitting needles. I can crochet as well. I can do basic crochet, and that's with 1 needle, but you tell me to use 2 needles to knit, not gonna happen. I've tried. Mum's tried teaching me. I've tried learning from videos. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not very good at it, so that's why this is like my easier option of knitting. When I see that, I see the start of an arc reactor. Nope. Nothing like that. The other thing that you need to use to actually knit with is this. This is the hook that you use for to take the yarn off as you knit off the pegs. So these are the pegs on the loom, and you use this to actually to do the knitting with, essentially. So you'll see how it works in a moment. And here's the red yarn that I'm going to be using now. Obviously, the camera doesn't do it justice because the red that you're probably seeing is a really intense bright red, but it's actually not that bright. I think it's maybe because of the way that I've set up the light. Maybe if I just, even doing that, it's still coming up as really bright. It's actually not that bright. What I will do though is once I've made them, I will post a picture of it onto the Discord, and maybe even Twitter or Instagram or something, but we'll see. Alright, so first things first, I've got to find an end to work with, and I want to start from in the middle here because it makes it so much easier to bring out the yarn when you're working with it. But sometimes I can't find the end, and I end up like right now, like I'm just going like I can't find the end, so I'm just gonna shove that back in. Hello Marina, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, my friend. How are you? How is the Netherlands? What's the weather like? Is it getting warmer for you? Alright, so let's find, where's my end to this? Ah, there it is. Alright, cool. So there's the end. So I'll leave that there. Actually, that might be, I don't know. We'll see. We'll leave that there. Are we all ready for pun day night? No puns! No puns. I don't want to hear any more puns. If you're gonna do a pun, it needs to be warranted. Like, I don't want to be reading out puns all night as a conversation. That's not what I want to see. Just wanted to have a no more puns. Loom knitting, that's new for me. Yeah. So this is this is definitely something that I learned and I taught myself how to do. Because I thought, well, I want to try some form of knitting. And this was one of the easier ones to do. Ooh, Netherlands is really nice and sunny today, but the wind is cooling. Ah, interesting. It's cooling down over here, as you can tell. I'm wearing obviously my sweater. Or as we call it here in Australia, my jumper. I'm wearing my jumper. That's the only one. Okay, good. If I hear any more from you, Andrew. Alright, so what you do is you can do like a little slip knot, or you just tie off onto the outside peg. This part here holds the yarn in place while you go around a couple of times. And that way you're not sort of like continually holding onto it. Low 20s late this week. And the weekend gonna be lovely. Yeah, so it's been like the weather hasn't been terrible, but it has cooled down significantly. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be weaving between the pegs. So it's kind of like a zigzag motion. So you sort of go in and out, all the way around. And this is my cast on. So I'm casting on right now. And then we get to here. Now, obviously, we're going around. Now, I know that that goes around the back, but that's okay. And so now what we're going to be doing to cast on, we get our hook and we start to do the cast on knit like this. So this will be every second peg at the moment. And then you just keep going around until you get to the other side. Now, for this particular knit, this particular pattern or project is to make the little round balls that I showed you before. There we go. All right, so that's a full round, and that's cast on. So see how it's now we've got them on all of the pegs. Fancy. It'll look a lot nicer once we get a few rounds on. So Marina, if you weren't here before, this is one that I made yesterday, and so is this one. So essentially making these little round balls. And then I'm gonna have like a place to hang it from, like kind of like a keychain, or you can chuck it on. I'm not sure, maybe on a door handle or something. But I'm gonna turn these into emojis. So I've been making these toys into like emoji toys. So there'll be like a little face on them as well. This blue one obviously is going to be the really cold frozen one. So baby balls. That'd be so fun. Yeah. So I've made a lot of these yellow ones before and made different emoji faces on them. And I have actually sold them at craft stores, and they're actually pretty popular because I don't think I've really seen very many people who have done something similar to this. So the idea popped into my head a few years ago where I wanted to see whether I could make a ball. And then as I saw how to make it on the Loom, the idea popped in my head. I was like, oh my goodness, I can make emoji toys. I can make emoji toys. And that's what I started to do. All right, so now that we've cast on, let's extend out the amount of yarn that we need. Christmas baubles. Yeah, they could essentially be Christmas baubles. Like my thought process will be maybe for later on in the year, for the next, the one later on in the year will be closer to Christmas. And what I was thinking of doing is maybe if I can find a way to integrate different colors into the actual knit itself, I could make Christmas baubles in this sort of shape. So it'd be really cool. I'm surprised how it turned out to be a ball. Look, it is kind of like it's a bit of magic. Let's just say it's a bit of magic. So you'll see it once I get around to it. So what we're gonna do now, there's gonna be 18. So we're gonna start doing 18 rows. So actually no, I need to do one more row to secure it all on. And then once I've done that, there's going to be 18 rows of me doing U-wrap a U-wrap stitch going around for 18 rows. And I'll show you what I mean by the U-wrap. Now, the only reason why I have to go around one more time before I start counting 18 rows is because this one needs to be counted as well. So this first peg here, because it was missing the cast on, I need to go around one more time. All right, so essentially the U-wrap is, you go in here, because the way that it sort of wraps around, so hold on, this is probably not the best example, but see how it comes around and it kind of resembles a U? That's what the U-wrap is. So you have to go underneath the already made stitches, underneath the other one from the previous row. You bring your needle underneath and then, sorry, wrong way. I'm thinking I'm casting off already. So you go on top of the already the stitches from the previous rows, from the previous row. You bring the previous stitch over the top of the new one. And that's your U-wrap stitch. And then you just keep going all the way around. So I'm just gonna do this all the way around to the other side. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Or like those multicolored yarn alone would be so fun. Yeah, exactly. So like I was sort of thinking of sort of doing that. What I'm gonna, like, essentially the way that I'm gonna make the emoji faces, I'm pretty much gonna be embroidering almost onto the ball. But I want to make a few of these balls before I actually start making the face. Because the face is very, like, the detail on the faces are going to be a little finicky. So I want to make sure that I have enough that I can do all at once. So that I'm not sitting here. So what I previously done was I would make a ball, and then I would embroider the face. Then I'd make another one and embroider the next face. And that in itself just took a little bit of extra time that I kind of wasted, I suppose. All right, now we've done that. So what we do, because we're going on the top, we need to push the previous row down a bit so that it doesn't get in our way and it doesn't slip off. Hello! Oh my goodness, I hope I pronounced this correctly. Navy? Navy? How are you, Navy? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. So how many of these do you need to do before it becomes a ball? So now that we've done our cast on completely, as you can see, the first peg now has its own loop. I have a pen and paper here, a little pad and pen, to mark off my rows, because if you're doing something that has multiple rows, you need to keep count of them, and I have trouble keeping count from counting the stitches because I forget about the cast on most times. So what I tend to do, and I'll show you the previous page for the previous ones that I've done, I've been marking off all of the rows like this, pretty much. So that I know that I've done 18 rows. So that's what I'm pretty much going to be doing here. So you'll see me after every row putting down the needle and then like putting down a strike so I know that I've done one row. Right, and then after a few rows, what I'll do is I will take this the tail off. Like I'll take it off this peg after a couple of rows, just so that I know that it's secure. I just did a Google on loom knitting. Now I want to try it. You know what, Marina? It's exactly how I started doing loom knitting. I came across it on Pinterest, funnily enough. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And then I found out that my local Spotlight had loom kits. So I went I went to Spotlight. I grabbed a loom kit that came with 4 different size round looms. So this is the smallest of the pack, and there's 3 other sizes. There's 3 other sizes, and the biggest one is quite large. I'm not quite sure what I would make with that, to be honest. Maybe a blanket, but I don't know. Oh no, yeah, I know. Pinterest is dangerous. Pinterest is very dangerous. Alright, I'm gonna try and keep this near the camera. I hope you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, oh my god, all the shapes I saw, I'm like, oh my god, I can make a hat. Yeah, you can. You totally could. You could make like a beanie. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I made a beanie as well on a loom. Not on this particular size, maybe on the size above this one, I made a beanie with it. Like a slouchy beanie. And it's actually really cool. That should be on a t-shirt. Pinterest is dangerous. I know. I probably should make that. Make it happen. Pinterest is dangerous. Yeah, slouchy beanie. A beanie with a bauble on the end. I think it has a bauble. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has a bauble. Like a pom-pom. It has a pom-pom on the end. You could actually use this as your bauble on the end of your hat. Like, honestly, you could do that. But I like making the fuzzy pom-poms. The pom-poms are really cute when you have those on your hat. Now you don't want to make your stitches too tight, otherwise it's going to be hard to continue doing, removing the loops over the pegs. Alright, so that's round 1. Alright, mark that down. A Fuji beanie. I don't know about it being a Fuji beanie, I know it's definitely just a beanie. Alright, we'll do one more round and then I'll unhook that particular stitch there that's anchoring it. This is probably, honestly, my favorite form of knitting because it's so simple, and there's only a small number of stitches to remember. So this one that I'm doing is the U-wrap stitch. There's also one known as the E-wrap stitch, which is going around the whole peg. So if I was to do that again, so see how this, so it goes in the front and then you bring it all the way around, and that's an E because of the way that it looks. It's like it's like a lowercase e, and then you just knit over that. So that's a different type. That's a different type of stitch. But yeah, the U-wrap stitch and the E-wrap. So the U-wrap stitch is probably the most common one. The E-wrap stitch is another common one that's used on the loom. There are other stitches as well, like doing a knit and purl, but that one, it's kind of like an intermediate level of knitting, and to be honest, I'd need to revisit a video to learn how to do that again. Plus, it's only for like specific projects. But this is pretty simple. And you can get around it pretty quickly. And here's round 2. A prefer the pokey wrap. Andrew, remember what I said before about puns? That is so cool. I tried knitting once, but my hand coordination is non-existent. Yeah, I've tried doing 2-needle knitting. My mum's even tried teaching me a number of times, and I still don't get it. I still manage to drop a stitch like in every few rows, and it's crazy. It is. It's so hard. For my mum though, my mum finds it very simple because she's been doing it for years. But I suck at it. I can't comprehend how it works, neither can I. Like, it's hard enough to follow a video to do it, let alone reading patterns. And even with pictures, it's still confusing. Yeah, it's probably muscle memory for her by now. Pretty much, it literally is. What's crazy is that my mum can look at a picture, like literally look at a completed project, zoom in to the picture to see what kind of stitches are being used, and instantly she'll be able to use it and make it herself. Like, it's nuts how her mind works in that sense. She's like, oh yeah, that's the stitch they're using. Okay, that's easy. And then she'll just start knitting. I know. Pretty much, Marina. It's kind of lost trade of sorts. You can earn so much tailoring and such. Yes, my mum initially when my parents first came to Australia, to earn some extra money so that my parents could, you know, support the family and feed us and pay bills and stuff like that. Initially, before my mum even had like a job here in Australia, she decided to do tailoring. She learnt to be a tailor back in Turkey. And so when she got here, she decided to be the tailor and make dresses and, like, you know, different pieces of clothing for people who wanted it. Mainly what she was making were engagement dresses, wedding dresses, which takes a lot of time and effort. And like my mom has told me a number of times she enjoys doing that sort of stuff, but after a while she got fed up with the clients because they always asked for so many different changes. So she was like, that's enough, I'm not doing this anymore. So she kind of so she only ever makes clothing for the family now. It's never for anyone else. But, you know, she does know how to make that sort of stuff if she wanted to. That's amazing. Yeah. The amount of hand cramps though. The customer is not always right. Yeah, my mum was just tired of the number of changes or complaints that she got from her clients, and most of the clients were family members too. Like, she was doing it to help them out of the goodness of her heart, and yet they still had things that they wanted fixed. And so my mum's like, all right, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore. So she decided to go work at a factory instead. All right, so that was row 3. I'm not used to doing this like so far away from me. I'm usually like in close to my body or up close to my face when I'm trying to do this. But so that I can show you guys, I'm trying to do it so that it's out here on the table where the camera is. Oh man, yeah, I know. Sucks. She doesn't mind though. She's like, she prefers to knit anyway, so her tailoring days are pretty much over. But she's still pretty good at, you know, if we need like our hems raised or lowered, or, you know, we need to fix up our clothing because they're too big or small. Mum's happy to help us with that and fix it for us. Do what you're most comfortable doing, methinks. Look, I'm okay. I'm okay with doing it out here. It's fine. I'm just getting used to it. There was no way for me to have it set up so that the camera was facing me. I don't think that would have been very, like, I don't think it would have looked that good. So that's why. And plus, from what I've seen in a lot of the videos where I've watched tutorials, they usually have their cameras set up over their shoulder so that it's sort of facing down from over their shoulder, or they have it so that the camera is literally in front of them and they have to wrap their arms around, almost like they're giving the camera a hug type of thing to do it. And that for me would be so uncomfortable, to have the camera right in front of me. No thank you. That would be very uncomfortable. All right, so that's row 4. Alright. Always remembering to pull it down. Now, you kind of see... Hey! Practice makes perfect, Fuji. Thank you so much for resubscribing, Listinator. How are you? How is your night? Oh my gosh. That's me when I try to watercolor on stream. Did you have your camera in front of you when you tried to do the watercolor? I've been trying to find ways to have the camera set up so that it looks good, or so that the angle at least looks good for you guys. Yeah, I was hugging the tripod. See, I'd find that very uncomfortable. I don't know whether I would want to keep doing that, to be honest. That's why I would rather have the camera so that it's sort of set up like from the side or from like in front of the project rather than in front of me. But then you have to make sure that the camera is facing the right way for people to see what's going on, so that the camera is not like upside down or something. And I thought for this particular project, it would have been easier to have the camera on the side of me, so to my right, rather than having it sort of face down in front of me, because you'll be able to see what I'm doing, kind of. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just pretty much using my hook to grab the stitch from the previous row, bringing it over the top of the new stitch, making new loops. I just gotta make sure I'm not doing it too tight. Otherwise, the next row is gonna be very difficult to get the loops off. There we go. Alright, so that's 5 rows. Sweet. 5 rows, 13 to go. Now, can you kind of see how the stitch... I don't know if you guys can actually tell. Can you guys tell how there's a stitch There those rows. So this is literally gonna be the inside of the actual toy. This is the inside, and that's gonna be the outside. You can't really tell because the camera's so out of focus. Well, it's not out of focus. It's just not the best quality. I can see it. Yay! Gonna make some bubble tea. No worries. No worries, Andrew. I'm glad you're enjoying the bubble tea I recommended. Lol, it is. My phone blue tacked to the tripod. Very fancy. You blue tacked? How did your blue tack hold? That seems like it's like blue tack doesn't hold phones. You must have used a big blob of blue tack for it to hold. I don't know. It's a lot of blue tack. Oh, that's so funny. Alrighty. So as your hands get used to it, like when you're comfortable, you can actually speed up and get through it a lot quicker. There we go. That's another row. That's number 6. Ooh, so you turn the thing inside out to make a ball? No, no, no. So what'll happen is, once we've done all our 18 stitches, because of the way that it's being knitted, because we're also scrunching it down, it's gonna be very, like, flat, almost. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up stretching it out so that you can actually see the stitches properly. And then we're gonna stuff it. Hey, Pat, good morning to you, my French Canadian maple leaf. How are you? Hope you slept well. Alright, so that was row 6. We are now on to row 7. Oh, and this is row 7. Alright. Just pull it all down. Row 8, 10 more to go. So once you get the hang of this as well, and the quicker you do it, the quicker you can churn these out, because they're very easy to make. Good, hope you're doing well. I am good, thank you. I'm pretty much on the verge of recovery. I'm almost there. Like, I still sound a bit nasally, but I'm not as bad as I was last week when I first got it. I'm not sneezing as much. I'm not blowing my nose as much. I'm not coughing as much, which means I'm healing. And I'm doing the right thing with the fact that I've been looking after myself, making sure that I don't, I had to cancel my shift last week on Friday. I was supposed to go to work on Friday, but then ended up canceling because I was coughing, I was sneezing, and I didn't want to go to work, especially around customers, looking and feeling like that. So I was like, yeah, I can't come to work. So I took the opportunity to just rest. So I've been resting at home since I got back from my trip. No. Okay. It's a good thing that didn't come off completely. There we go. Sweet. Happy you're feeling better. Yeah, feeling much, much better compared to what I was. When was it? Thursday. Yeah. I mean, initially, not Thursday. It started last Tuesday. I could feel myself getting sick. And then Wednesday was the day, which was the day that I was flying home as well, that I ended up feeling very congested. And my nose was just runny all day. So I was glad that I managed to get home without any suspicion. Technically, I shouldn't have flown, but I knew that I wasn't, like, I knew that I was fine. It was literally just a cold. All right, that's row 9. Good to have a few Tim Tams. I'm sure it'll make you feel better. Oh, yeah. All the Tim Tams. Glad to hear that. Yay. Yes, I am definitely getting a lot better. Plus, I had to make sure that I have to be better. I have to be better for Wednesday. Because Wednesday I go back to work and I don't want to cancel another shift. I really don't. I need to go back to work. So next week I will be able to, not next week, this week I'll be able to do that. I mean, I'll probably take my mask just in case I'm still a bit sniffly and coughy, and I might wear it while I'm working, just to be safe. But hopefully by Wednesday I won't have to worry about that, because I know that when I have it on, and especially when it was mandatory to wear a mask at, like, whenever, like, if we were out in a indoor space where we couldn't socially distance, had to wear the mask, and it was just so hard to breathe in. All right, there we go. Row 10, done. 8 more to go. I hope so too. Sending healing vibes. Thank you, Marina. I really appreciate it. I've still got that tickle for the cough. Like, it's still kind of there, but it's not as bad. I've been taking cold and flu tablets. I've been having vitamin C. You know, the dissolvable tablets that you have that you drop, like the multivitamins, you drop into the water and it dissolves. So I got the vitamin C version of that. I've been drinking that every day, like once a day. Because I can't drink citrus juices because it causes acid reflux for me. Otherwise, I used to love drinking orange juice all the time. Like orange juice, like all kinds of juice. But unfortunately, because of the reflux that it causes, because of the acid from the citrus fruit, I can no longer drink it. So I haven't drunk orange juice in years. So that's why I've had to find alternatives for vitamin C. And using the effervescent tablets are a good option. I've also been eating kiwi fruit. Like I've been eating a lot of kiwi fruit this week because kiwi fruit has vitamin C as well. So I've been having a couple of kiwi fruits a day as well, just to keep me, at least I'm having the fruit version, the natural version of vitamin C as well. So I'm getting tons of vitamin C for my immune system. And I've been drinking lemon and ginger tea with honey, just so that my throat doesn't feel so sore. How is it if you drop some lemon in hot water? Oh, lemon in hot water is fine. I can do that. Like I said, I'm able to drink like the lemon and ginger tea. But what I do is I add a teaspoon of honey as well. Because I can't drink it straight. It's too strong for me. Same brain. I've been doing that every morning. Ah, that's so cool. Has it helped you in any way? Like, is it mainly for to help with your immune system, or is it for something? Is it for your throat? Because I absolutely love having the lemon and ginger tea, but like I said, I need to have like a bit of honey for the sweetness, so it's not too bitter for me. And I've been trying to do my best to keep hydrated as well. Because if you stay hydrated, then you'll be fine. I don't know, really. It started because I have dry throat in the mornings. It started with a slice of lemon, but now I squeeze like half a lemon. Yeah, because once you get used to the flavor of lemon, you're like, oh yeah, that's not too bad. I'll add a bit more, and then a bit more, and then you realize you're like putting half a lemon into your into your tea or into the water, and you're like, oh, okay. So I suppose it's a good little benefit. When I have a cold, I usually make a tea with fresh ginger, honey, and lemon, and it seems to help. Yeah. So you can't, like, it's probably better to make the fresh version, like to actually use fresh ingredients to make the lemon and ginger tea. But I'm a bit lazy, so and ginger's expensive here, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll just get the pre-made tea bags. Does the same thing. Next thing you know, I'm just sitting under the lemon tree, snacking on them. Yeah, there's Marina under a tree, eating a lemon. She's no sourpuss. She just likes lemons. Oh, maybe that's the next food girl you should make. You should make a lemon girl. Really? I'm surprised it's expensive. The ginger is pretty cheap here at Asian stores. Lemony fresh, she smells. Yes, Marina, you should make a lemon girl. Draw a lemon girl. You're welcome to the idea. I definitely will now. And back. Made a milky mango one. Ooh, milky. Interesting. Does it taste good? Is it kind of like a creamy mango sort of a flavor? Like an ice cream, like a mango ice cream? It does, yeah. Oh, nice. I love that ginger, honey, and lemon go so well together. Yes. I improvised this time around. What kind of milk did you use? Did you just use regular milk? I may add something to it for the weekend. Yeah, regular milk. Okay. That's cool. I would probably use soy milk because I can't have regular milk. But at the same time, yeah. I mean, that sounds really interesting. I might have to give that a go. Alright, this is row number 13. Alright, we're 5 away from completing this red ball. It really does. I love it. It's even good to drink when you're not sick. That's true. It helps to keep your immune system up. It's kind of like an immune boost. Some coconut rum maybe. Oh, kind of like a pina colada type of thing. Yeah. That'd be really cool. And then use coconut jelly. If you had them. Ooh, fancy bubble tea. Yeah. Fancy, fancy. Next order, gonna get some strawberry ones next. Ooh, interesting. As in strawberry popping pearls or strawberry, like the strawberry pulp syrup? Both. Fair enough. Yum, I love bubble tea. Bubble tea is the best. I actually haven't had bubble tea since I got back. I haven't had any since I left, I should say, not when I got back. Since I left, I haven't had bubble tea. Maybe I just haven't had the urge to have one. You got me hooked. I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Either way. It's good stuff. What are you waiting for, Fulia? Go now? Nah, it's okay. I'm good. I'm alright with my water for now. She's too busy having a yarn in this stream. Hey! What did I say about puns? Pun count. It's not pun day. No. It is not. It is not pun day. Did they have cha time there? Yeah, we have cha time here. Yeah. We've got cha time. We've got so many different variety of bubble tea stores. It's insane. Like, it blew up when it first, like, when it started becoming really popular. And, like, now almost at every corner of the city, like, if you go into the CBD of Melbourne, Every corner of the city, there's a bubble tea place. And they're all their own different brands, like their own, like they're all like small businesses and stuff. They're everywhere. You may need to add to sound if it's pun day. Yeah, that's not happening. No, Marina. I'm not having pun days, so no badumtus. Presso tea. No. I don't think we've got that one. Or not that I've seen anyway. I might need to sell bubble tea cocktails. Oh, you're not the first to come up with those kind of ideas there, Andrew. A lot of people have been making them. All right, 3 more rows to go. And then I'm going to show you how this becomes a ball. I love chart time, but there's so many better options. Yeah, there are, Pat. There really are. I think chart time was one of the places where I started drinking bubble tea. That's where I first started. And then there was a point where I was working in the city a lot. So I ended up going to another bubble tea place that was in the Maya Emporium, which is pretty much like, kind of like a shopping mall, but with all of the big brands, like all your labels and stuff. And there was a bubble tea place in there that I absolutely loved going to. And it made me feel very fancy going in there. And I used to love getting brown sugar syrup tea. Brown sugar syrup milk tea with pearls was pretty much my go-to. And in the wintertime, I would get that particular bubble tea hot. Oh my gosh. It just warms you up. It's like a cuddle for your insides. So good. Cheaper to make it yourself, I think. Yeah, it really is though. Like honestly, getting the bubble tea kits at home means that you're actually saving money by making it yourself rather than spending extra. Because I think it comes to like almost less than $2 a serve. What was it? Why haven't I heard about it? Well, if you go there, you'll see it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It's on the level where where the food court is. It's like literally where the food court is. If you go around the corner from it, that's where the bubble tea place is, Andrew. Just in case you're ever in the city. When I was in high school, I queued up for 20 minutes for a bubble tea. After I got it, my bus arrived, so I ran for the bus and just before going in the bus, I accidentally dropped my bubble tea. Sadly walked into the bus. Oh, Marina. Marina. Man, it's funny now, but oh my gosh. I would have felt so bad for you that day. I would have cried. I know, Pat. So would I. I wouldn't have cried. I would have just been so frustrated with myself. That requires a minute of silence. I lost all my friends with me happily sipping on their bubble tea, and I was just bubble tea-less. Oh my gosh. That's so heartbreaking, Marina. Oh no. That is so heartbreaking. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Lol, sigh. That's actually really sad. It really is. Don't look at the fact that I'm laughing now, but like that particular day, honestly, I would have been pretty much on the verge of crying. Is that your sincere voice? Your friends should have shared. They should have. And what do you mean, is that my sincere voice? I was so sincere. Don't look at the fact that I'm giggling right now. I remember because I didn't eat lunch, so I can use my pocket money to get bubble tea. Oh, that's even worse. Oh. Hold on. They should. Thank you. I give you a hug, my friend. Those aren't friends, Marina. Oh boy. Man, I would have been so frustrated with myself if I did that. And yeah, I probably would have cried. Because I spent all of my lunch money that so that I could have it. Friends share bubble tea to bubble tea-less friends. Yes, I agree with Pat. I finished my bubble tea. Well, you didn't savor your bubble tea then, Andrew. You didn't savor it. You should have savored it. Alright, one more row, and then we're done. And then I can show you how I cast off and turn what this thing is into a ball. I'm so clumsy. Yeah, I can be clumsy too sometimes. Can't wait to see the finished product. Yeah. So what that is pretty much going to turn into this. This is stuffed at the moment, so that's why it kind of looks more like a ball. What will it be? Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to ruin your surprise. Bye. No, Pat, come back. I didn't mean to. But you can see how this one will actually become that. Spoiler alert. Yay, excited. I can't imagine that this would be a ball. Yeah. Yeah, like you wouldn't think so because of the way that it's actually knitted. But once it's actually removed from this, you'll see. It's magic. The magic of loom knitting. She changed from an arc reactor to a basic ball. It's not. It's not an arc reactor. It's just going to be a ball. Yep, we're almost there. That's so crazy. How does that turn into a ball? You will see. Hold on and wait and see. Alright, that's the final row knitted. I'm just going to mark off that I've done 18 for this one. Scrunches it up, I guess. Just wait. Alright, so now that we've gotten all of our rows done, so all the rows are complete, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit more extra, a bit of a long tail. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this around the loom, not too tight of course. And then we're going to get the scissors. Snip. Alright. So that's the red one done. So what I'm going to do now, I don't think we're in the crafting stream. Probably a magic one. All right, so now that we've got a tail, we're gonna be casting off and we're gonna do a drawstring effect. So we've done it already on this end when we cast on. So now we're gonna be casting off with a drawstring effect. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be getting the tail and I'm gonna be going under and bringing the tail through each loop. So for each loop, the tail is gonna be coming through, and this is what's gonna cause, it's gonna create the drawstring for our ball, so that we can tie off each end. Oop, and make them neat, unlike what I just did there when I'm trying to pull through the threads. It's not magic, just advanced science. So just try not to rush this sort of stuff, because that's what happens. You start unraveling the threads. You don't want to do that. Advanced science. Oh, love it. Ooh, so you pull on it. Yeah. Why am I so excited now? You're gonna see something come to life. That is why. All right. All right, so we're almost at the other end of the loom. Okie dokie. Alright, so that's the last one. Now we're gonna take off the loops. Don't worry, this is not gonna ruin it, because we're done and nothing will unravel. So we're taking it off the loom now. And it's going to look very, very strange. But that's okay, because we're going to fix that. Frankenstein ball? No. And it collapses into dust? No. Alright. Okay. Loom. We are off the loom. Okay. So as you can see, when it comes off the loom, it kind of just looks like a cuff. Like the cuff of a sleeve, yeah? That's kind of what it looks like. Lol. Poof. You have so much patience. I would have ripped it off the loom. It's a bracelet or a hair tie. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? But now what we need to do before we do anything else, we need to stretch the stitches. We got to stretch the stitches out. So we need to stretch them out like this, because this will give it the space that we need to fill it up. So I usually like to go around it a couple of times just to make sure. Okay, so we're going to be pulling on the string from the end that we finished with. That's how I like to do it initially, because I purposefully give myself a long tail at the beginning so that I can do so I could do this little bit on the end, because I have to crochet that little bit, the part where you hang it. Oh my god, it's alive. Alright, so we're going to start pulling on the string. And as it sort of closes in, you'll sort of see it sort of take its shape a little bit. So it kind of looks like a little mini beanie kind of thing. So you just got to close it tight like this. And that gives you that end right there. It's a traffic cone now. It's more like a little beanie, isn't it? Doesn't it kind of look like a little mini beanie? Or a tulip. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a darning needle. So these needles are, they've got a wide eye so that you can put through yarn like this, like thick yarn. But it's also not as pointy. It's got a blunt tip. So you use this for this sort of project. Frodo's beanie. I love the mini beanie. So you could essentially make a mini beanie out of this, honestly. But I think there'd be a better way to make this a lot neater rather than keeping it like that. There'd be a neater way of having that end there. Alright, so we're going to thread the yarn through the darning needle. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure off this end here so it doesn't undo itself. Kind of looks like a yarn rose. Yeah, that too. Now where are we? Which way are we going? Okay. So we need to go clockwise. So what I do is I go through in between the stitches on the end. And it hides, and it pretty much hides the tail. It hides it and secures it at the same time. You're just gonna make sure you tighten it as you go. Don't stab your finger. I'd probably do that. You won't have to worry about these. These are very blunt. These are blunt needles, so you won't do much damage. You can make a bouquet of yarn flowers. Yeah, you could. You totally could. I've never actually done it myself, but it is possible. So I usually go around a couple of times to be extra certain that it's not going to undo itself. Go around another one more time. No wonder this is a tight-knit community. Andrew, get out. Alright, I think we're good. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna poke this through here. I'm gonna go inside out for a second. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You can technically use this side if you want, as your pattern on the outside. You could do this side as well, but I prefer the other side. Well, the door is there, Andrew. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Alright, so just because this is going to be on the inside of the ball itself, I'm going to tie a knot. I can't see it. You'll have to knit one. I like doing a double knot just in case. Especially if it's something that you're going to be selling, you want to make sure that it's 100% secure. Alright, I think we're okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. Alright. Now we can cut this bit off. There we go. Bring it back in, back to, I'm going to give it another stretch. Just so that we've got a little extra space for the stuffing. So the video that I watched to learn how to make this actually tells you that you can use, you don't have to use polyester stuffing, this is the stuff that I'm going to be using. But you can just use excess thread to fill it up. So if you've got like an excess amount of thread like this. I've got like a bunch of thread in this particular bag, but because they're really bright, I don't want them to be seen through the ball. So I'm gonna keep that for like the lighter colors. But in this instance, I'll probably hide that in there as well. But we're gonna be using some polyester filling. Time to go sort stuff out for work, then sleep. I won't needle you all. Good night. I'm glad. I don't want to hear any more puns. Have a good night, Andrew. Sleep well. Alright, so I'm gonna shove this in here. And then we're gonna stuff this. There we go. It's kind of resembling a bit of a ball now, as you can see. Probably needs a bit more stuffing though, but I don't want to overstuff it too much so that the stitches end up getting stretched out. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start closing off the end. There we go. Alright. Alright, so we need a little bit more, I think. A little bit more stuffing. It's almost like stuffing a capsicum. Or a pepper. However you call it. Alright. Here we go. Alright. There we go. We're getting the resemblance of the shape of a ball now. And then we close off the other end. Now you could potentially add more if you wanted to. But, I think this is, not too bad. You can totally make this into a tomato or a strawberry. Just shape it into one of those fruits. That'd be really cool. Alright, I feel like I might need a little extra stuffing, I think. Just to fill up the top. Thank you, Marina. Alright, let's just maybe add a little bit more. A little bit more stuffing. Just want to make sure it's got a good shape. Ah, Ali Zara, welcome. Welcome to the Foolish community and welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are. Happy time zone to you. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing we did on the other end here. And sort of tie it off and tighten off the hole. Yoink. And as you can see, this one's purposefully long because what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread it right through to the other end and I'm going to do a bit of crochet. Hey, just chilling. How are you? I am good, thank you. Just making our little toys here. Oop. There we go. Alright, so now we're just tightening off and closing off the top hole. Great to hear. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you dabble in any kind of arts or crafts there, Ellie? Whoop. Hmm. Sometimes that can be a little bit annoying. There we go. Just shove it through there. Warm welcomes to everybody who joins the Foolish community. Huh. Knitting and sewing. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I like to crochet more, and we did this with a loom. So I do loom knitting more than I do any other kind of knitting. Yes, Ali. Do you have any projects that you are currently working on? I'm trying to get the next... That's not going to work. Hold on. Might have to do that. There we go. Alright, I think if I just go around maybe one more time, I think I'm good. This might be enough. Alright. Oh, nice. I am working on a sweater. It's my first one. Hey! Amazing stuff. I think my biggest project in terms of any kind of like knitting or yarn related thing is I made a blanket. That was my biggest, like a lap blanket, not like a really big blanket for the bed. It was a lap blanket that I made. Maybe, when did I finish it? I finished it last year and I started it the year before. There we go. All right, so what I did, I don't know if you guys saw. So I finished off this end and I put my needle through and fed it through to the other end. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crochet this. Oh, nice. Blankets are awesome. They are. Blankets are really good, especially if you're like a first time sort of knitter or crocheter, kind of like me. I'm not knitting, sewing, but I'd love to start on a cross stitch project. Yes, cross stitch. We did a cross stitch stream when I did my first craft stream, which I think was like last month. When I did my first craft stream, I decided that I would do a cross stitch stream, and that was my first like proper cross stitch as well, which is pretty cool. No, that's too. I was working on a blanket for about a year myself. Yeah, it's one of those things where you really have to be, you really have to want to have it done like ASAP if you wanna use it. But for me, it never really, like, I could never get myself to finish it so quickly. Because for me, I get bored pretty quickly if I'm doing something that's really repetitive. And when you're making a blanket, if you're not doing like different stitches throughout the whole thing, it does get boring. Well, for me it does anyway. For sure, yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna crochet the rest of this. Now so this is 20 stitches This one here has got 20 stitches. I'm going to see how many more I can actually make to make the loop a little bit larger. Alright, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, not going to be very many. I think I'm going to end up with 20 again. 19, one more, and 20. Alright, cool. That's fine. So what I'll do is I'll bring that through, tie it off. Alright. I think I need to make it a little bit longer than what I have been making them. Oh, that one's got a bit of a dingy loop, dingy chain. Oh well, that's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so what I tend to do is I tend to just tie it off at the end here. And I do a double knot. There we go. That's 1 and 2. There we go. Just make sure it doesn't. There we go. I don't know that I like that, but I don't have a choice now. Alright. I'll just snip that. And voila! A ball. And that's how you get a ball. So now what we're going to do... Thank you, Marina. It is really cute. I'd use it as a keychain. Yeah. Never lose your keys. Exactly. You would never lose your keys because it's so big. Look how big it is compared to my hand. Like, it literally sits in the palm of my hand. That's how big it is. So now that we've done that, so I've shown you guys how I actually make it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the faces for the emojis. So this one, I'm going to see if I can just make a regular smiley emoji. This one's going to be the cold emoji. This one's going to be the angry emoji. So I need to bring up the emoji faces so that I've got a reference. We'll leave the yellow one for last. Let's get the angry one done since that's the one that we've been working on tonight. My keychain is almost 5 times bigger than my keys. Alright, so angry emoji. Do 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 do. Alright, let's capture this. So essentially, we're going to be making this guy. Can I view the original? Can I just view the image? Nope, it's not gonna. Well, yeah. So we're gonna make this guy, the very angry emoji. Can't wait for you to send me these when you're done them. Hey, I will if you would like one, Pat. So essentially, we're gonna be making an angry emoji. So let's just cover that up now. Okay, so I need... What color do I need? So I pretty much need black. Where is my yarns? Okay. Now, I'm not sure whether the embroidery yarn is going to be too thin. It might actually be enough, though. So let's use this one here. So we'll use our embroidery thread. But I'm going to need to use because the darning yarn's a bit too big for that, so I'm going to need an actual, like, smaller needle, which I'm pretty sure I have in here somewhere. Here we go. Haha. Needle. Found it. Got a lot of bits and bobs in this particular little case here. In the little pouch. Okay. So. Where's the end to the skein of black yarn? Yeah, that's the one. Sweet. I think. No, that's the inside. Where's the outside one? Is that it? Nope. That's it. There we go. Alright, cool. We got it. We got it. Took a moment. Okay. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be needing, though. Be right back. Gonna water my plants. No worries. Alright. This needle is still quite big, but it's just got a smaller eye hole. So it kind of works out a little better. Alright. Alright, how much of this am I gonna need? I don't want to do too much, so let's go like that. Okay. Alright. Now, I need to figure out where I'm gonna place the alright, so we've got eyes with eyebrows and a frowny mouth. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I'll start it from, we'll go here. Eyes. Okay. So what I might do, just to make it so that it doesn't undo itself, I'm just gonna do a simple tie on like that. Probably isn't a technique to use to try and get the excess thread in, but I'm doing it anyway. Whatever works for you. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. So the point is, we need to make eyes. So, we do I think it's pretty much like back stitches. Just trying to make sure that I don't make them too big. And if I do, I can just readjust it. I can redo it. Gonna make sure that none of the polyester filling sort of comes out, because sometimes it does. It kind of ruins your work. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, this is all free-handed, by the way. Like, I tend to just go with what I think looks right, or what's gonna work when I make these little guys. I mean, it may not look right. It may not look good, but as long as it does what it's supposed to do, and it looks decent enough, then it should be fine. I'm sure it'll be cute. Yeah. Thank you for your confidence there, Pat. I appreciate it. I mean, you could use the button eyes if you wanted to. Before you close up your ball, you could add the button eyes to this, but I feel like the hand stitched eyes would probably look a lot better. Just gonna add an extra stitch at the top here. And I think that might be enough. Hey, welcome back, Marina. Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip off this little bit here. There we go. Alright, so that's one eye. It's got to do the other side now. So if I go in here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, through the actual filling, I need to make sure that I'm at the same stitch. I don't want to go too far because I don't want to make the face too wide. So if I start from here, that might work. But yeah, the stitching is a nice finishing touch. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, is this the same type of yarn? No, so this is embroidery yarn. It's a lot thinner than regular yarn. So this is embroidery thread that I'm using, Marina. This here is an 8-ply. This is an 8-ply yarn, acrylic yarn. This is embroidery thread. Ah, okay. Yes, I see that now. Yeah. Yeah, so essentially with embroidery thread though, usually what you would do is you would separate the threads from each little, like you'd separate each thread from the skein. But I'm keeping them together to give it a bit more of a, like a bit more thickness to the actual color. But I could have used the same sort of acrylic yarn, the 8-ply yarn, to make it, but I felt like it might be a bit too thick. So I thought maybe the embroidery yarn would definitely bring it together a bit better. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did over here on this side now. And let's see if I can actually do that. Alright, so we're going... Yeah. Alright, cool. So we're going in here. Alright, so I'm going to do this upside down to make it easier. And I'm just going to do... Alright, so without tightening it too much... So you don't want to tug on it too much, otherwise you're going to end up squeezing these stitches together too far. And then the eye won't come out very well. Not too tight. You always notice too that when you're doing something like this, when you're making like a face, you always realize that one side of the face looks better than the other. Like you make one eye better than the other, or you make one ear better than the other. Whether it's with crafting, whether it was with drawing. And I'm noticing that here. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is not the same as the other ones. I'm gonna have to do something to fix that. I know what you mean. Pretty much. Alrighty, so I think just to give it its... Do I need to go one more row? I think I need to go one more one more, I think, over here. Yeah, Marina. Like, especially when you're like drawing and you do one eye and it looks so good, but then you go to the other eye, you're like, oh, I don't like that one, and you just rub it out and do it again. Alright, so I think we're good on how long it is. Now I just need to go up the length of this. So what I'll do a back stitch. I'll go from in here. Digital art isn't too bad, especially in my style. I just duplicate the eye sometimes. See, it's easy. Yeah, exactly. It's easier when it's... it's easier when it's digital because you can easily copy and paste the one that you made. But when you're freehand drawing or painting, it's so much harder. Just pretend it's winking. Hey, Akuma! Good morning to you. Welcome to the stream. Why don't you... I like that idea. Alright. See, now I'm liking this eye better than I like this eye. Which is the first one I made. Alright. So that's the one, I think. We'll go underneath to do a back stitch on this one. Oop. There we go. Under there. Careful, Fulia. It might turn out to have a black ball instead of a red one. Might turn out to be. I know, just keep going and going. It's like, oops, I've stitched the whole thing. Okay, and then I think the next thing I need to do is make the eyebrows. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it sort of like one row down. So like about here, because I gotta make the eyebrows look like they're frowning down because it's angry. Because this is an angry emoji. There we go. See how much better that one looks compared to that one. Alright, so angry emoji. I'm gonna make the eyebrow here. Ooh, the shape of the eye. The shape looks good on that eye. Yeah, exactly. It's what's frustrating me. Because I've done that one so well and so nicely, and the other side's just like, eh. It'll do. But I think it looks okay. The only reason why it looks a little bit dingy on this side is because of the polyester coming through. Alrighty. So just got to do a couple of rounds of here. So if I go maybe 3 rounds through, and it should be thick enough. And then I'll do the other eyebrow. Does that kind of looking angry? Is he looking angry to you? He's angry. Ooh, he mad. He very mad. Eh. There we go. That way. Oop, sorry. I tend to knock my microphone sometimes, and it's so bad. I'm like, because I can't hear what happens to the microphone sound when you bang it, but you guys do, and I feel bad. Alright. Does that look angry? Is that an angry face? It's actually kind of cute. Thinking maybe I do one more stitch, or is that thick enough? Do you guys think that's the eyebrows thick enough? And just go to the other side. So make it not too thick. I could do maybe one more. But I feel like that might be enough. You probably get the idea that it's an angry face. Looks good. Yeah, I think so too. Alright, we'll move on to the other side now. So what I'll do is I'll stitch under. Where am I? Over here, I think it is. Yeah, that one. Cool. I like it too. Yeah, I think the thickness is good. It's a good thickness. All right. Cool. So we're over to the other side now. So I just gotta make sure that where I'm hitting is about here. I think it's about here. Yeah, it's about here. So we're going here. Sweet. Alright. I'm trying not to get too much of the polyester coming through. Hope I haven't gone too high. Let's see. If it's too high, then I'll just unstitch it and do it again. This is always the fun bit. I find this to be the fun bit, doing the embroidery side of things. Because you're adding character to your toy. There we go. I think he's done. There we go. That's 3 on each side. It's cute. Like, ah. All right. Okay, so we're good on the eyebrows. Oh, I like him already. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna give it a little extra tug, I think. Maybe not too much. Hold on. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, next thing, which is the last thing, is his mouth. So what I need to do is I need to sort of do a frowny face. Frowny mouth. A frowny mouth. Okay. That through. Looks like me when I'm dealing with carrots. Oh, poor Pat. Okay. Where do I want to start this? Let's start it on the outside edge of where the eye sort of starts. Alright, I'm going to do this so that if it comes through that I've got polyester peeking through. At least I've cleaned it out of it. Okay. Cool, so we're gonna start here. The mouth is always the hardest part to make because of the curves. So I'm gonna see what I can do to make it as curvy as possible. Let's have a look. Let me see if I can do this. Alright, so I'm gonna do to here. So if I go, is it this one? Or is it this one? I think it's this one. Alright, cool. We'll go here. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll just do a back stitch through. And I'll do it so that it comes down to, all right, whereabouts is that? It's on this one. Yeah, I think it's that one there. All right, cool. Bring that through. Okay. Alright. Pull on it a little, and then we go back through the same way. I'm not sure whether I should do a double. I think one is enough. Because I think a thin mouth is probably good. Like so. Boom. Or should I go maybe one more sort of to make it a little extra thick? So pretend this is sort of cut off. And like, should I keep it as a thin mouth or should I go one more row of thickness? I think like, looking at it from my perspective, like, because I know with the camera it's a little dodgy, it's not the best quality. I think maybe one, I think one's enough. I feel like one may be enough. Yeah, I think so too. I think one's enough. Grr. I'm angry. Are you kidding me? I love how this turned out. Yay. Alright. It's perfect. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it. Alright, so what I'll do now is I will... Oh, my foolish bot is down. How could it? How could it? No. But it's there. Oh, well. No big deal. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, how do I tie this off without tying it off? I think what I'm gonna do, just so that it's like kind of hidden, I need to pull it through. There we go. Oh my goodness. He's very cute. Alright, so I'm gonna just go under here. I'm just gonna make him go through the other side. There we go. Alright. Sweet. And then what we do is we squish, pull, snip, and then it hides. Boom. There is our angry face emoji. Complete. He's cute. I mean, he's mad, but he's cute. I'm mad. Rah. Alright. That's our little angry face emoji. Kind of looks like a pumpkin because of the lighting in the camera. But I can make this into a pumpkin at some point if I wanted to, but I won't. All right, so that's him. He's complete. Now. All right, now this blue one. I need to cold emoji. So the cold emoji the cold emoji. There we go, that's a bit bigger. This one. A mouth with white teeth. So I gotta chuck in some teeth. And then I don't know whether I really need this, because generally the ones in the ones on your phone have snowflakes and stuff on them. So Rodney, no. Not a Rodney, no. So this is pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. Alright, so let's close that now. Why are you bringing up that rodent? I was fine not worrying about him for the last 2 weeks. And then you bring him up. How could you? I know some people who are fans. Yeah, I know those people. I know those people. The people you know, I know too. Okay. So let's get ourselves a cold emoji. Okay, so cold emoji. Alright, let's start with the eye like I did with the other one. Where do I want to do it? What's the best option? Here, here, here. Which one's the in-between? Alright, we'll go here. Alright, we'll go here. We'll go through here. And then I'll just do a quick tie off. Like I did with the other one. Boom. Okay. Now this black thread might just be enough for the eyes, but we'll see. Alright, so we're going... Alright, so I've got to do this way for me. Might help if I have it sort of tied in. Get that out of the way. How's your morning going, Pat? Is it warming up where you are? Slightly? There we go. I think that might be... Do I want to go an extra couple of rows, maybe? Yeah, probably. Let's go a couple more. Something is wrong with my oven. The bread isn't baking properly. Oh no! No! Oven, work! Work for Marina. Yeah, weather's been way better. I love spring. Hey, nice. Yeah, it's cooling down over here. I mean, it's still nice weather. From what I'm noticing. Like, it's still in the... It's still sort of like low 20s. Like low to mid 20s. So it's kind of still, and it's nice. Snowing, yeah. You're funny, Pat. It never snows here in Melbourne, never. I've never had that experience. I've had to drive all the way to the mountains to get snow. Thanks. Oh, spring is nice. Yeah, spring. Spring. I'm gonna get the least amount of blue. Snowing in Melbourne? Nope. That ain't gonna happen. I have to go all the way out to like Mount Hotham. Or what's the other one that's a very popular tourist spot for skiing? I forget, but yeah, I'd have to go to those, like, I'd have to go to the mountains to get the snow if I want to see snow. And I've only seen snow once in my life, so... The way things are going, never say never. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Anything could be possible. And before I know it, it snows in Melbourne. Alright, so I number 1 complete. Now just gotta do the other side. All the poor spiders. Hey! Poor spiders. Screw the spiders. I don't care. Me no likey the spiders anyway. Blessing in disguise. Potentially, or it could be worse. Spiders could flock to the houses. Which is not what we want. No. Freeze, spiders, freeze. Well, you got me humming as well. It's like yawning contagious. It's good music though. That's probably why. Alright, I think we're good in terms of the length of that. So now we do this. I'm not gonna do eyebrows for this one. I think this one just the mouth shape is probably what I need. So I'm gonna go straight down to the mouth for this one. So we're gonna go about here. Do I want to make a black outline or should I do just white? I don't know how much of this I'm gonna have. To work with. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go white. So I'm gonna get some white. So let's just do that. And now it's all hidden. There we go. Eyes. The eyes are ready. Alright. Well, I may have ruined it a little bit at the bottom, but oh well. That's fine. Okay. They're not supposed to be perfect. It's fine. Alright, now I need... Where's my little thing? Okay. I need the white. Alright, just gonna take this off. There we go. Take the outside one. Now I'm gonna need a lot of white for this smile. It's not exactly a smile, it's like the poor thing's freezing. There we go. Okay, whoops. Don't want to tangles. No tangles, please. Alright, we're good. Cool. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to make the mouth. And we're going to have it start here. And we're going to kind of do like a back stitch. but just to sort of start it off, and so that I know that I'm securing the mouth kind of in place. I'm gonna do that. And sort of have this stitched in somehow, like so. It's kind of a crochet trick, I suppose. And it's also an embroidery trick too. Same with cross stitch when you do the back, when you've got the tails at the back. Alright, so got that there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the outline first. So if I just do from here, there we go. Might not be the best decision. Let's just do that so that it's out of the way. I'm gonna make it bigger maybe. Actually, I think I might have to make it bigger. The things that you like, you kind of think about it and then you're like, wait, maybe it will look better if I do it this way. So that's why it's good to not just tie knots everywhere. Because then you can just undo things. Okay. Alright, so don't want it to be too tight. There we go. Alright, so let's get the other end again. I'm sorry if this is not as thrilling as some of my other art streams, craft streams. That's true. That's what I like about cross stitch as well. I can unstitch. Yeah, exactly. You just unstitch. If you feel like you've made a mistake or you feel like you want to do it a little bit differently. Alright, cool. Do that. I just don't want to do it too tight. So let's just loosen that a bit. There we go. Okay, and then we go back in through the same way to do our back stitch. And then we go back to the same. Oop. Actually, I'm gonna cross. I'm gonna cross over here. Don't worry, it's very relaxing. I'm just grabbing lunch. No worries, Marina. Thank you for your reassurance. Just gonna make sure this kind of, I gotta make this work so it's not too, because I don't want it to be too small. Because what's gonna end up happening now is I'm gonna end up doing I'm gonna try and make the teeth, the shape of the teeth. Oop. So I don't want to pull on it too tight. So that's kind of like the outline of the mouth. So now I just gotta do the teeth. Don't be sorry. Love this stuff in the morning with coffee. I need this every morning. Yo, Oh my gosh, I wish I could do this sort of stuff every morning, but I also like to play games and... and games are also fun too. And games can be creative. Animal Crossing is very creative. I've realized that very early on when I started playing the game. It's a very creative outlet. Hopefully, when I start working on Cora again, I'm gonna be able to get that that creativity flow through me when I start turning it into a mesh unit. There's gonna be a lot of green, I can tell you now. Lots and lots of green and brown and... It really is. I love the way that your island has been turning out, Pat. It's actually looking really, really cute. And you're doing a lot of the simple panel type buildings and they look really good. And I feel like that's the sort of stuff that I want to incorporate when I do the redesign on Cora. I'm going to be incorporating a lot of simple panel designs. Playing AC now while watching. You both are so good at AC decorating. I'm good when it's blue. Because in that instance, I know what I want. I know what I want it to look like. But when it's other things, it's not as easy. When it's other colors or multicolors or just like, if you're going for a particular theme, it's not as easy. I still need to finish off Lapis Bay. Like I've still got to finish off all the parts, like some of the beach areas, before I decide that I'm gonna upload it completely to the Discord. Like upload my dream address, I should say. There's gonna be a gap. I can already see it. Wow. Here, no? Here. You should try the panels and standees. There's so many creative things you can do. Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. There's going to be so many different design ideas that I can use to create my island. Or to redesign my island. I'm definitely going to be utilizing a lot of the standees, that's for sure. 100% going to be utilizing the standees a lot. You never thought that you would be using your Pro Designer very much at the beginning of the game. You thought, oh yeah, Pro Designer, it's just for clothing. I mean, there are a lot of people who do custom clothes, but then the new with the update this year, you know, with the fans and the umbrellas and the standees especially, it's been like the number of creative designs that I've seen is crazy. I thought I liked the decorating aspect of the game, but I really like catching bugs and fishing, but nothing new to catch now. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. A lot of people they don't really care too much about designing so much, and so for them it's just a way to chill and to complete things. Now I know my best friend who also does YouTube stuff. She doesn't stream, but with her partner, They do YouTube stuff. Now, she started playing Animal Crossing like a week before I did because she got it at release. She pre-ordered it, but I didn't. And I noticed that the way that she plays her games, she doesn't really care too much about design. Like, she doesn't have a theme for her island. Her island is literally just a place to get away and relax. She doesn't do villager hunts. She'll take whatever villager comes across. You know, she gets the auto refills. She doesn't do... I don't think she does anything with the campsite villagers either. So, when I started learning how we all play it, when I started doing that sort of stuff and then going back to my best friend's island, I'm like... And I didn't say it to her, but I thought, wow, okay. This is, I suppose this is her way of playing it. I just feel like it's, not enough. Like, I feel like it's not enough. People are so creative. It's insane what people are doing these days. Yeah. We're just dodgy. So dodgy. So dodgy. Oh my gosh. I don't know how the teeth isn't working out very well, I don't think. I'm not sure that I'm liking the teeth. I don't know, we'll see. I'm trying to make it look decent. I like our way anyway. Yeah, I mean, I love the way that people are being creative. I don't know whether my best friend has seen how other people have created their islands and designed them. I might send her my dream address for Lapis Bay and show her what my island looks like. And maybe... I'm pretty sure she'll be like... She'll probably turn to me and be like, you know, how long did it take you to do that? And how did you get this and how did you get that? I'll probably get a lot of questions about that, but you know. I like the collecting part. I'm hoping to get all the photos and maybe I'll keep catching fishes to get all the models. See, I feel like that's how my best friend plays it. She's playing it as if it's a completionist sort of game, like a game where you have to collect everything. Because I'm thinking to myself, you don't have to collect everything. She's trying to finish off her museum. She plays it for, you know, an hour or two a day and then she's done. I want it all for you. Oh boy, that's so funny. Me too. I'm trying to complete my Nookma redemption cards. Ah, see, I haven't even thought about that. At the beginning, I was like, "Ooh, I can collect things. This is cool. I get all the points and stuff." But now I'm just like, eh. I think I think Richard's Treasure Island corrupted me a little. Right, I feel like that. I hope we get gyroids to collect. Oh, not another thing to collect. Come on, it's enough that we have to collect everything else. You want us to collect all the bloody gyroids as well? I don't even know what that even means. Because I know they're from the older games. More things to collect. I don't think I'm liking what I'm doing with the teeth, to be honest. I don't know. Is that looking any... Is that looking like teeth to you? Probably not. I need a bigger basement for my hoarding. What, have you already finished? Have you already filled up your storage? Like even the upgraded storage? Come on. You put one black line across the thief to provide the top and bottom. I don't know. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm just sort of like, I'm just not liking the way that I'm filling it in. I don't know. It's probably just me. Most people are done collecting fish, bugs, and art. We need more. I'm not most people. I'm one of those people who have just like, oh yeah, I'll get a fish. I haven't done fishing in a long time in the game. I'm not liking the teeth, to be honest. I feel like I want to undo this. He does look cold or showing the dentist how many teeth he has. Alright, look, I'll keep going and maybe I might be able to fix it. Once I've filled it in. I might be able to fix it. Hold on. I might just be able to do like a, we need a Fuji 11-hour stream to complete the Critterpedia. I don't know about that. I've got 2 of them to fill in now. Actually, I probably won't really worry too much about Lapis Bay, but I definitely want to finish it on the Cora Island for sure. Critathon! Oh. No! Alright, hold on. Critathon, my gosh. You guys. Alright, so now that that's filled in, I think I need to go across one. I need to fill this bit in. So it kind of like fills in the bad looking gaps. So it's kind of like the lips have gone white. So, hold on. What if I come up from here? I wonder what it would look like if I just kept the if I do this in white. I just sort of went across the middle. No, I think it needs to be black, doesn't it? I know what I'll do. I'll grab some black thread, but I won't use the full thread. I'll sort of separate a few just to make like a small line. All right, so with the, I think we're done with the white. I do kind of want to bring this one under though. Under there. Okay. She kind of looks like Rosie from the Jetsons. You know, the robot Rosie? Kind of reminds me of her. She does. She's just missing her little antennas on the side with her maid hat. Like, you know how she's got her little things on the outside. Like to near her buddy. I can't unsee it now. I know, right? I can't. Oh, jeez, that's so funny. Alright, so we're just gonna get rid of the white. So I'm just gonna thread this through. Alrighty. Okay. Sweet. Okay. That's the white. Alright, we go back to the black, but this time we grab maybe that much. And I kind of need to unthread a couple of these. I think two's enough. All right, let's. Oh gosh, don't tangle now. It's the one thing I hate. I hate when it tangles. There we go. Alright, cool. Whoops. Bring that to the side. Alright, so now it's a nice thin amount. So if I go like that, should I do like a separation of the teeth as well? I feel like I might. Like, because I've now made like a full bar of white for the mouth, I was thinking maybe if I was to do, rather than doing what I just did, do like, sort of like maybe 3, 4 times, maybe, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then black across to sort of separate the teeth. I mean, I could do that, or I could literally just do in the middle and then around the outside. Do you want to do the middle first to see if that's enough? Yeah, let's try that first. So what I'll do is I'll start it from here. I'll thread it through to here, so that it's as close as possible to underneath the teeth. Alright, so that's now underneath. Okay. So if we do that, kind of reminds me of those sock monkeys. I feel like because I've gone across here, it's kind of ruined it a bit. Now I'm thinking that the vertical lines could work too. Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same. Because then if I did the vertical lines and then have that across, then it'd probably work better. Let's try that, because it's not too bad. So I'll do it. Yeah, more separation. Yeah, exactly. It's my thought. Alright, so I'm just gonna go up here. Okay. So if I do this and then go up here. Alright, let's just make sure I don't tug on it too much. Like that. chuck one more over here. And then bring this one through here. Tomorrow is King's Day in Netherlands. Ooh. Usually the whole country is out on the streets wearing orange and partying. It's gonna be amazing weather too. Oh, wow. So what is it that you're celebrating? What is King's Day? What does that mean to you? That sounds interesting. Oh, the King's birthday. So does the Netherlands have royalty? Like, do you guys have a king and queen rather than a president or a prime minister? Oh, nice. That's so cool. So kind of like Denmark has their royalty as well. Ah, cool. That's amazing. King's Day. King's birthday. That is so cool. I have one orange shirt just for this day. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then let me just... I'm just gonna poke her through to the back because I don't know whether this is gonna be it. For the teeth. Maybe I did it a bit too high. Did I do it a bit too high? Does that work? Does that look like teeth to you? Oh my goodness. I think the black lines are working. You think so? I think it looks horrendous. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I need to fix up the... He's so cute though. I don't know. Braces? I don't know if I've captured the emoji right. I don't think I've done it right. Hold on, let me get it so that it's kind of like centered. Not there. Here. There we go. It's probably a bit better. Oh, I've lost the other one now. It's gone through. It's like so tight. Alright, cool. How's that? I don't know that I'd sell this one. I'd probably keep this one for myself. At least I've tried. Maybe if I do add the eyebrows, maybe if I did add some eyebrows, you think it might work? Might look a little bit nicer if I added the eyebrows to give it the effect that it's cold. I'd buy it because it's made by you. Aw, Pat, thank you so much. Maybe if I add the eyebrows. Let me add the eyebrows. I'll add it using the rest of this skein. Not all the teeth are straight. No, they're not. I like him. He's got wobbly teeth. Imperfect. He is imperfectly perfect. Are you gonna do the icicles? Should I? I don't know how. How would I do the icicles? How would I add the icicles? So in this instance, we do the eyebrows going up. Maybe not too. From here. There we go. That would be tough. Yeah, I know. It would be like so hard. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do icicles. Okay. They might look like fangs. Exactly. Or maybe I should just do like snowflakes. Maybe I do a couple of snowflakes. That might work. Then he'll definitely look like he was cold. I have to do a couple of rounds more of this because it's not as... because the thread's not as thick. Yes, snowflakes. Good idea. Because all I'd need to do with that is get the white thread and just do like a 5-point star. Literally. That's a snowflake. But I feel like... I don't know, the reason why I'm doing these here on stream right now is to get a gauge of what's going to work for me in terms of making them and whether it's going to be worth making them to sell them. Is it worth me putting myself through all this effort to then end up selling it or not to end up then not selling it, you know? So I want to make sure that it's going to be worth my time. And whether I could sell it cheap enough that people would be happy to buy them. Do you know how they look? Do you know how they look like? I mean, you live in Melbourne. Aha! I know it doesn't snow here, but I know what a snowflake looks like. Alright. So I think we got a thick enough eyebrow there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to... Where do we want to go? Here. Let's go here. You cheeky little Canadian. Okay. Yeah, yeah, just outside. Blame the poutine for these cheeky cheeks. I love it. And that's why you the best. That's why Canadians are so lovely. They're so nice. Better than Americans, right? Well, at least you don't come in looking for the maraca redemption as soon as I get back from a trip. Jeez. Freaking Kato. I won't tell them. Kato coming in. She doesn't even say hi. She's like, where is the Maracas redemption? I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is why I don't want to put it back on. They are savages, I swear. Kato. Not even a hi, Fulia. How was your trip? Straight away. I can't find the Maracas redemption. That was her first comment in the stream on Saturday. I was just thinking to myself, hi to you too, Kato. Oh no, I think I've ruined the eyebrow. No. That's so funny. Did that work? I don't know. I feel like I want to put in one more just to be safe. And then I think that might be it. That might just do it. Oh my gosh, that looks hideous. Look at that eyebrow. This eyebrow sucks compared to that one. They wouldn't let you play the game. No, they wouldn't. That day has traumatized me so much that I do not want to put the maracas back on. For that reason. Even putting, like, I know that even if I, like, put on limits on it, on how many can be redeemed per stream or per person, I know somehow someone will ruin it. And they don't put it back. Don't put it back then. I'm gonna wait for people to forget that it was a thing. Once they forget that it was a thing, then I'll put it back on. Oh my god, they will find a way. Exactly, Marina. They will find a way to torture me. Which one was that one? This one here. I'm gonna redo this eyebrow. This eyebrow sucks. I'm not sure what I did wrong, but it needs to be remedied. Hey!
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mama Shimp. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for resubscribing. How are you? I hope you slept well. Long time no see. Was it this one or was it? It was probably the top one. Ow. There we go. Oh. Come on. There we go. I'm like pulling on freaking stuffing. Missed you terribly. Hope you had a great time away. I did. Thank you so much. Missed you too, Mama Shimp. Missed you too. Just gonna chop that. Get that out the way. There we go. Okay. So. Which one was it so that I can pull it out? So I'm pretty sure it was this one. That one. There we go. You don't miss me, Mama Shimp. Pat's seeking attention. He's like, where's my attention? Like a little puppy. Of course, Pat. Sorry, tried to get ready for work and check in here at the same time. All good, Mama Shimp, all good. Hope you're having a good morning. Give me all the attention. I'm kidding. I hope you're doing well. Yes, in Florida. Alright, I think I need to go up. Do I need to go up? Yeah, I kind of do, don't I? Yep. But I feel like that's where I came from. Maybe I've done... From up here, maybe. Hey, Kato! Welcome to the stream. You like him? He's supposed to be the cold-faced emoji. I don't think I've done it justice, though. Hope the house is coming along great. Still no kitchen, but we are getting there. Hey. Can't wait to see the developments, the progress. I have learned to make many things in the grill. Nice. It's always good to learn new skills. I'm wondering whether I should go down here. That's what I did before, and it felt like it was too close to the eye. At least you have the outdoor grill now. Yeah, definitely. If I go down there. Maybe I don't have to go far. Do I have to go down far? Probably not. Let's just go down here. Okay, that might work. We'll go here. Nope. Don't bring that in. Okay. There we go. I think that eyebrow looks much better now. Okay. Just gonna keep here. Like that. Cool. Yeah, it looks less curious. I'm trying to make it so it doesn't look so creepy. Especially because of its teeth. Coming out good. Hey, thank you. Alright, well, I think one more. Just to give it the extra little bit of thickness. Alright, and there we go. Okay, so now the last embellishment to this emoji ball. I feel like this emoji ball has been going for a while. Alright, let's cut the excess. There we go. There we go. Alright, so the last thing I gotta probably do is maybe add a couple of snowflakes. So one here. One here, and apparently there's 3 on the emoji itself. How cute is this thing? What is it? So Mama Shimp, I'm making little emoji toys to sell. They're like little stuffed toys that you can, you know, hang up, use as a keychain, or, you know, put on your Christmas tree. I don't know. Does look cold. The eyebrow makes him extra cute. We finished this one earlier. The angry face emoji. This one here. This is the one that I actually knitted on the loom. This is the loom. This is the loom here that we used to knit these little guys. I love the angry one. So this is the angry emoji. This one's gone. This isn't the cold emoji that we're working on right now. And this one, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to work on this guy, but this one will eventually be another one of the yellow-faced emojis. Ah, very cute. I love the angry one. It me. This one's you. I might have to make more. Maybe adding white glimmer to your eyes. Maybe. I thought maybe hacky sacks. No. So these guys, yeah. So you just sort of like, you can hang them up with the loop here, or you can just have it as a toy. It's very squishy. It's a very squishy toy. I'm gonna sell them, that's why I'm making them. Although I'm not sure if I'll be selling this guy. Alright, so the last thing I need to do is I need to add on some extra, let me see if I've got, before wasting another whole skein. So I'll use up this one here. Could be cute to add to the back, add them to backpacks. Yeah, that too. You could totally do that. Add them on the backpack. People, I know that one customer that had bought the little emojis that I had made last time, they said that they added it to their kids' doors. So it was really cute. I will put one on my rearview mirror. Take my money. Get them all and hang them on the door so people can know my mood for the day. Yeah, exactly. You can totally do that. Alright, so we're gonna add a snowflake. I'll add one here. It's got 3 on the emoji, but I don't know whether 3 would be too much. So I'm gonna add one here, and I'll add one here, and I think 2 is enough. I reckon 2 would be enough. Amazing idea. Yeah, exactly. They're your little mood things. Add to the door. I feel cold. Please put on the heater. I'm angry. Please clean up the kitchen. Mine would be angry face all the time. Please give me food. Okay, so the way to Pat's heart is through food. Through his stomach. Am I right? Okay, so if I just do... Let's go through here. I'm cold, please give me food. It works for all emojis. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so we're doing... where's going to be the middle of the snowflake? I think the middle of the snowflake, I think, should be here. Yes, poutine and tacos, please. Of course. Okay, so we're adding the snowflakes in. So I'm literally just going to do... so let's go up, down first. Like that. And then we'll go east-west, or west-east. Doesn't really matter. Hey! Hello, Kirkleton! Thank you so much for the raid, Kirk. I really appreciate it. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome, Raiders! Ah! I have to do the... There we go. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, everybody. My name is Foolish Fuji. We're doing an art and craft stream today, but I usually play Nintendo games, usually. Hope you're all doing well. Kirkleton, what were you playing today? I'm pretty sure I know, but I'll ask you anyway. Thank you so much for the raid. And as you all can see with the shout out that I just gave, Kirkleton is one of the potato mates. He is awesome. Where am I gonna go? Here. Here. I don't want to go too far. Okie dokie. Alright. And then... Leela! Good morning, Leela! Hello, welcome to the stream. Yay, I get to wake up to Fuji stream. Oh my goodness. You are most welcome. Hope you slept well, Leela. I'm just trying to make a snowflake on the side to make him look like he's cold. I think I'll go around here. That's good. Is it kind of looking like a snowflake? I hope it is. I did sleep well. Yay! That's good to hear. Here. There we go. I don't know what's happening in my browser, but I was trying to... I was typing responses, but not seeing them in chat. I don't know what's going on there, but yay, your response came through finally. Alright, I think if I just do a quick little like this. There we go. So there are some answers to questions, but I am really tired, so I'm gonna head. Have an amazing night. No worries. No worries there, Kirkleton. Thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't, please go check out Kirkleton. He's an amazing potato mate. Another Aussie for you to follow. Hope you have a good night. Alright, I'm just gonna do a little thing. Anytime, see yas. Alright, so we're gonna do a... I hope it works. I'm gonna do the thing that they do with the embroidery, where they kind of like wrap around like in the middle. Oh wait, no, hold on. Hold on, I think I'm doing that wrong. Oh no, what did I do? Hold on. Let me do that again. Let's try that again, please. Eh. Eh. It's stuck. It's stuck on the thread. Ah. Oh. Maybe if I do this. There we go. There we go. Alright, cool. We're good. We're good. We're good. Just trying to fix the, I want to fix up the snowflake so that it actually looks like a snowflake in some way. So what I need to do is I actually need to weave through the white and go like around in a circle. Okay. So we go under one, over one, under one. That's the trick to this. Under this one. Make sure I get all of them. There we go. And then like that. Over, under. And I'll just go okay, now I'm losing thread, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough to make the next snowflake. So what I'll do is I'll... There we go. I'll do that. That kind of looking like a snowflake. From a distance, maybe. Kind of nearly. Okay. Snip. Alright, now it's got to do one more on this side, I feel, on his cheek. And then I think we're good. That side. That's the one I want. Is that the one I want? That's the one I want. Alright, let's go with... one extra. And that should do it. There we go. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from behind. And the middle of the cheek, I think, will be about here, I'm gonna say. About here. Yep. Yep, we're good. Alright, cool. So bring that through. There we go. Alright, cool. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go... what is that? 1, 2... Do I want to make them big? 1, 2, 3. How many did I do with this one? I think it was about 2. Okay. That's alright. Alright, so we'll go here. And then out. Almost like a back stitch. So that it's not... There we go. Alright, cool. And there. And then we're going to do 1, 2, and then here. And then I think I'm just going to go straight to... What is it? 1, 2... Here, maybe? Is that too far? No, maybe too far. Hold on, we'll go here. There we go. And then we'll go here. Here, there we go. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum. Go underneath. Go about here. About there. And go around here. There we go. Alright, so this is probably a better looking snowflake compared to what I've been doing. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go underneath and then through like that. There we go. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to do the outside inside weaving. the over under. Alright. I think we're good on that side as well. And then we'll just poke this one underneath. What are we thinking? Is 2 enough? I think 2's enough. There we go. 2 snowflakes. Little cold snowflake. Yeah, it looks good with that. Yeah, I think so too. Alright, cool. Alright. Done. Oop. Picks up his little smile. There he is. With the angry one as well. They're my little emojis. My little emoji toys. The squishy toys. I still gotta do the yellow one. But I'll think of something for the yellow one eventually. But yeah. That's pretty much it. That's how I make the little emoji toys with this loom here. With the round loom. The smallest of the round looms. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's smaller ones compared to this one. But that's the smallest one that I have. And yeah, I'm able to make these little guys. This loom knitting is awesome. It is. It really is. And it's so easy, like honestly, like even if it's not to make toys, it's so easy to make all sorts of different things with a loom. It's so much easier than using 2 knitting needles. I'm definitely keeping this in mind. Yeah, that was really fast. Yeah, exactly. It is so much quicker to do, and you learn the techniques. And you pick up the techniques really, really easily and very quickly as well. So, I highly recommend, if you can't do 2 needle knitting, loom knitting is the way to go, 100%. It's kind of like combining the 2 needle knitting with weaving, because you're weaving and you're pulling through the yarn and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of fun. It's relaxing. And it's easy. And there's so many different YouTube channels that you can find that do these type of things. I will recommend a particular YouTube channel that I have learnt this from, and they purely do loom knitting. If I find them. Sorry, mute cuts out the music for a second. So if you go to this site here, so I'll chuck it in the chat. So this is the loomahat.com channel. So if you go check out that YouTube channel, that is where I have learnt how to make these. Like these balls. I've learnt how to make hats. I've learnt how to make so many, like a lot of different things using, like watching those tutorials. And it is so easy to follow. They also have sort of like written instructions as well as spoken. And it's just so easy. And I love it. And I'm so glad that I've picked it up again, because I feel like I want to do more stuff like this. Would you guys like to see more of the more Loom knitting projects that I do? If you do, please let me know, and I will definitely make sure to find some projects that I can do with you, so that you guys can see. But this is one of the things that you can do, that I'm able to do. Thanks for sharing the channel. You're welcome. You're welcome. I love sharing all different types of resources that I have, that I've used, and if I know that they're really good, I will definitely recommend them. I enjoyed this today. Yes, amazing. And especially now that the winter months are coming up, for me at least, for Australia, I feel like maybe this is something that I would probably continue doing. I might make a hat. We'll see. I might make myself another beanie. Maybe next week I do another Loom knitting stream. That might be fun. And I'll do something else other than these little emoji balls. So I might actually, yeah. What I might do is I might crack out the one size bigger Loom, and we'll do a hat next week. We'll do a beanie, maybe with a pom pom on the end. This was fun, yay! I'm so glad you liked it, guys. I appreciate you all being here, and I'm really glad that you enjoy these art and craft streams. It definitely helps. Hey! Frank having coffee. Hello. Frank, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for resubscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a good morning. Hope you're having your Frank coffee. Thanks for another great crafting stream. Aw, you're welcome, Pat. I'm so glad that you enjoy having these particular streams in the mornings for yourself to chill out to. Coffee time for sure. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Oh, well, you've just popped in. We're about to wrap up the stream already, but what I'll show you is this is what we've been working on. In my little cold face emoji. And this guy I made completely from scratch today. So on stream, from making the actual ball itself all the way to the embroidery, that was today. He's a little bit of a simple one. He's the angry face. And then we got the little cold face. So it's like 2 little emojis, all done on stream. So yeah, that's pretty much today's stream. I will come back next week on Monday for another art and craft stream. For those of you who are not aware, please check out Who Arted. We've got a command here. Who Arted? There we go. This is the Who Arted Discord channel. If you are if you are creative, if you want to learn a particular type of craft or art, please go check out the Who Arted Discord. You get a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation, lots of willing members that will help you along the way if you're stuck with something or if you need an idea for something. All of the channels are there for you guys to check out, and you can, if you're not the type of person who is crafty but you're willing to have a look around and see what's available, maybe it'll spark your interest in a particular art or craft, definitely check out the Who Arted Discord. It's so much fun. It's such a cool Discord. I lurk a lot. I need to post some photography. Yes, Pat, please. There's a photography channel. There is a digital art channel. There is a traditional art channel. There is also, coding, programming, all kinds of different design and art and just everything. Like, whatever the art or craft that you do, I'm pretty sure the channel is there and available for you guys to share your work. So please go check it out. And it's a great place just to hang out with really nice people as well. Marina is one of the co-founders, of course, of the Discord, along with Kate. They are amazing artists themselves, so please go check them out as well. But yeah, that's it for today's stream. Thank you everybody so much for joining me. Let's see who we can find to raid. If you can just hang around for a few moments, please, and we'll see who we can raid. You know what? I have not seen. Yeah, look, he's about an hour in. We're gonna go see Necessity. He is if you think this is chill, you listen to his voice, and oh my goodness, chill vibes, the chillest of vibes. Like, it doesn't matter what game he's playing, his voice is just so soothing. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're gonna go say hello to Necessity. He is a very lovely streamer. He's currently playing Jump King. Lol, I'm ready to be even more chilled. Exactly, Marina, exactly. So let's go say hello to Necessity. He is from Malaysia, I believe. So there's your raid message. There's number 1 and number 2 as well. The first one obviously being if you have your subscription to get the emotes. But the second one is also ready for anybody if you'd like to use that. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow morning, my time, 11 a.m. Actually, no, not 11 a.m. I'm doing it an hour earlier. So 10 a.m. Australian time is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. So I will be, I'll be up earlier than I usually am. So hopefully I'll see you then. We're going to be playing some Animal Crossing. We're going to start working on Cora, start tearing it down so that we can get it ready for the new decorations. In the meantime, make sure you're also in my Discord, which is the Foolish Community, and there's a lot of fun that happens in there as well. But hope you all have a good day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.